Moisture, though, returning. We'll see some wet weather the further south that you go this weekend and also into early next week. In Tupelo through the night, we're clear. Lows are into the upper 50s. Sunny throughout our Saturday and Sunday, too, with highs middle 80s. Dry weather Greenwood, our overnight low 60s. Abundant sunshine throughout our weekend with highs into the upper 80s. For Pascagoula, partly cloudy through the night to low upper 60s. Stray showers Saturday and then a few more showers with thunderstorms rumbling through Saturday night and Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. This is Think Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 6th week of Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ is out on assignment, as we like to say, but tonight we've got Jared Schatz, who is the play-by-play guy for Germantown High School, and our favorite scorekeeper, George Broadstreet.
Only scorekeeper.
Excuse me, only scorekeeper.
That's right. Thank you, Chris. Jared, thanks for being with us tonight.
George, Chris, just fantastic to be with you guys. I just want to make it clear, I'm keeping this seat warm. I'm not taking it over. The star will be back next week in Russ Robinson.
Yeah, that's a big cheer. And so we appreciate you being here. Ty Bailey's working the phone, and we've got 2 hours, and we've got a lot of ball games to talk about. Now there are a lot of schools that had open dates this week, an unusual number, but district action starts next week in the public schools. So, there's a lot to talk about and a lot of kind of interesting games.
I kept looking tonight. It was supposed to be my night off from actually calling a ball game, and got a call from my good friend and Philip Palmertree, who does Leak Academy, and he said, "Hey, I need a color guy. Can you come over?" So, did that ball game, had a running clock, able to jump out of there and get over here. But you're right. I kept looking up to the sky to see if it was a full moon. It wasn't quite a full moon, but it felt that way looking at some of these scores.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess in this, as you said earlier, we were talking earlier that in this business, there's no time off. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's always something to do. I'm going to jump in and give you a few scores, and we can talk about some of these games. And of course, we've got our normal cast of characters, people that we'll talk to through the evening. But here's a game that really kind of caught my eye, and yours too. Brandon and Northwest Rankin will play in tonight at Northwest Rankin. Now, that's a pretty good ball game. Brandon apparently wins 3-0. What's up with that?
Yeah, rivalry ball game. Brandon's owned that series lately, and we'll hear from our good buddy Jake Wimberly, who will call in a little bit. But yeah, listen to the end of that ball game coming over here, and I thought it would be a low-scoring game, but I didn't know that a soccer match was going to break out over there, and just incredible. I mean, you look at Brandon the last few years. And I know that they're going through a coaching transition, but they could name their score the past few years, and to win 3-0, that's something they're not accustomed to. But hey, you'll take the win in district any way you can get it.
Well, and the way football is played, regardless of the classification, whether it be pro, college, high school, you just don't see many of those kind of 3-0 games. So that's kind of unusual. Columbia had no problem tonight. They beat Lawrence County 48-0. D'Iberville beat West Harrison 25-7. Ethel over McAdams 28-14. Velma Jackson defeated Eupora tonight 24-20. Here's another game that again really kind of catches your eye. Gulfport apparently goes to Ocean Springs and wins 41-28.
That's a surprise. Ocean Springs. We talked about it on our show during the week. We thought Ocean Springs, some of the guys on the panel were talking about Ocean Springs maybe battling for the third best team in the state. Mm-hmm. And you have Coach Penix who left Ocean Springs to go to Gulfport, and they've kind of been up and down in the non-district early in the season, but Ocean Springs has been playing very consistently. They've been one of the most consistent teams in the state of Mississippi. That was one of those that raised the eyebrows.
Yeah, and Ocean Springs was undefeated, 5-0 going into that game. Calhoun City won again. They've got a 5-1 record. They beat Hamilton 50-15. Here's another game, kind of a cross-section game of interest. Hartfield, who has played a rugged schedule to say the least, goes to Tupelo tonight. And apparently Tupelo, it was a close game early, but Tupelo, from what I can see, pulled away and won 35-0.
Yeah, Tupelo, I mean, you know, it's kind of like when you get, punished by somebody else, when you were a kid growing up, and then you got to go home to your parents. Yeah. Well, that's kind of Tupelo after last week. They get beat first ball game they've lost in 2 years, and it's like, oh, hey, Hartfield, you've got to go play Tupelo now.
Yeah.
That is a tough ball game to go play that rumptious bunch up there. That's some grown men. But no, I looked at that score. That was very surprising that Hartfield was in that ball game early. But you're right, George. I mean, they've had some lumps early in the season, but I would not want to play Hartfield later on this year.
Yeah, no question. I mean, they have played a rugged schedule. And remind me, who beat Tupelo last week?
West Point.
That's right. That is right. That's right. Heidelberg shut out Enterprise Clark 57-0. Here's another game of interest. Oak Grove, who got off to kind of a slow start, they defeated Houston of Germantown, Tennessee tonight, 28-25. So that's probably a pretty good win for Oak Grove.
That's a big win. That was a team that started off very slow. Germantown, I saw that firsthand. Really shell-shocked Oak Grove early in the year. Oak Grove then went over to Neville, Louisiana. I think that ball game was in Oak Grove, but they played a Neville, Louisiana team who's a powerhouse over there. So they win that ball game. Now they've taken out another out-of-state opponent. So tremendous for Oak Grove. They're playing good ball at the right time before they go into district play.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackson Prep, the game that Russ was on the road calling, goes to Natchez Cathedral. I think it's called Cathedral School now, but we'll call it Natchez Cathedral. And Prep got their fourth win. They won 49-0 pretty handily. Apparently Prep is, they got off to a really slow start. But they are improving, it seems.
They are, and you got to contribute to what a young football team. They had to have been one of the youngest football teams to step on the field to start the year, and now you're starting to see some experience, some guys getting to really figure it out on offense and defense. Russ could probably tell us, but it was only 2 or 4 guys that they had back on that team from last year, but they're starting to grow up before our eyes a little bit.
I mean, I think they had, and he says this several times, but they had 36 seniors.
Wow.
Who pretty much played every down, and that's tough to overcome.
It is, and your start. Madison Central was very similar to Prep. Madison Central had a very young football team coming into the year, and they kept it close with Oxford. Actually kicked a field goal. I know we'll get to that score, but they kicked a 58-yard field goal at the end of that ball game and tried to win it. It fell short, but that Jackson Prep and Madison Central very similar in what they encountered coming into the season.
Yeah. Let's see. Leake Academy. This is the game you actually were involved in. Leake Academy defeated Canton handily tonight, 51-7.
Look, Wilcox is the real deal. We've heard about that young man at quarterback, 230 pounds, and I think I made the statement as the color analyst with my good friend Philip Palmertree. But if he breathes, he can throw it easily 40 yards. But if he grunts, he'll throw it about 70. Just tremendous. They dominated that football game. Canton Academy, very young, new coaching staff over there. But I'm telling you, watch out for Leake Academy.
And that Leake's 5-1 now. Now here's a game that we've both were kind of following. Last report, and I'm pretty sure this is the way the game ended, but in the very late fourth quarter, MRA was leading Catholic School of Baton Rouge 27-20.
Wow. I mean, I'm trying to get a final to make sure. Actually, it looks like the text is coming in now from a good friend who's very close to the MRA program, but MRA, you could make a case for them being the second or third, I think, best team in the state of Mississippi. I know they're battling kind of with Tupelo. I think West Point has the most impressive resume, but I'll say this. MRA won at 27-26, just got the final. That's a heck of a win.
27-26?
27-26.
Wow. Now, I'd like to know how that ended up because it had to be in just the waning seconds that Cathedral got a score.
I think you're right. As I was trying to come into the studio here, MRA had it 27-20, and it looks like a late score by Cathedral. But let me tell you, I was listening to that broadcast, and it was in Baton Rouge. It sounded like they were in Tiger Stadium, and somebody had some kind of horn going off in the background. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, I
did.
It
was atrocious, man.
It was horrible. You could barely hear the guys that were broadcasting the game, it was so loud, and they talked about it several times, but they were trying to speak over it. But it was almost like a train horn. It was awful.
It did sound like there was a locomotive rolling through the stadium. And I know that there's really not a lot of rules against that in high school football, but that one just seemed a little bit over the top from listening to it on the radio. But I'm going to tell you about MRA. I really think they're one of the top 2 teams in the state of Mississippi. And look, I'm starting the bandwagon right now. If West Point, MRA win a championship, we are going to find a way. We know people. We're going to tee it off one more time at the end of the MAIS championships and the MHSAA. What a win for MRA. And if they beat Ravenwood in that first ball game, you could make a case that they have the best resume in the state of Mississippi.
They've played quite a schedule, that's for sure. All right, let's see. Get some other scores in here. Choctaw County
defeated 2 callers.
Okay, Choctaw County defeated Nettleton 48-6. Let me give one more score. Oxford, as we mentioned a moment ago, Oxford defeated Madison Central 16-14. That's a big win. Oxford's having a pretty good year.
That's a team really nobody's talking about. I'm telling you, they're going to be there in District 2 7A. That's a big win for the Chargers.
This is Josh we have on the phone, and he's going to talk about Ocean Springs versus Picayune. Here's Josh.
Okay.
Josh, how are you, sir? Tell us about that ball game. Gulfport and Ocean Springs, one of those that really had my attention. Gulfport, at least from the score standpoint, looks like they dominated.
Yeah, somebody told you wrong. I was at the MRA Catholic Baton Rouge game.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll just put that one to the side. We want to know about that one as well.
Well, MRA won 27-26. It was a total team effort from MRA. They played great on all phases of the game. Their kicker, forget his name, but his number 33 hit the 50-yard field goal as time expired in the first half, and they were up 12-7 at halftime. And Catholic Baton Rouge has a really great running back. His name's Jaden Miles. Underclassman was really good. They scored first in the overtime, made it 13-12. They went for 2 and did not get it. Then MRA hit a good pass, made it 20-13 because they went for 2 and did get it. Then MRA scored again, and at one time though the score was tied 20-20. And then MRA scored a touchdown, made it 27-20. Well, then Catholic Baton Rouge went for it on 4th down. The great running back Jaden Miles scored a touchdown from about 52 yards out, made it 27-26. Well, Catholic Baton Rouge lined up to kick an extra point, but MRA jumped offside. So they accepted the penalty and decided to go for 2, in which they did not get. So
wow.
Then the MRA recovered the onside kick, got a first down, and ran out the clock and won the game 27-26. But I'm going to say this about MRA. I saw JA play a few weeks ago, and they played League Academy, and I thought JA was the best private school team in the state. But MRA beat JA, and now they've gone on the road and played in a big stadium, Memorial Stadium here in Baton Rouge, to beat a really good team, Catholic Baton Rouge. They're the best team in private school football. They don't back down from any competition. It don't matter who you are. MRA will come play and probably beat you. And how Ravenwood must be the best team in the world to beat MRA. Because MRA played an excellent game tonight. They deserve to win. And you're going to have to play your very, very, very best game if you want a chance to beat MRA this season.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Josh. Well, I got to ask you, you must be a massive MRA fan. I'm glad you didn't have a heart attack during that ball game.
Well, I'm just a high school football fan. I actually live down here in Louisiana part-time. So my girlfriend lives here. So I was trying to find a great game to go to tonight, and I wanted to see MRA play, and it's not too far from where I live down here. So I'm kind of back and forth between South Louisiana and South Mississippi, and I want to see MRA play, and I always wanted to see Catholic Baton Rouge play. And the Memorial Stadium where they play at is right on I-10. It's a really nice stadium. It kind of reminds me of the Veteran Memorial Stadium in Jackson, a little smaller. But it was a really great game. MRA played a heck of a game. They're well coached, and just they deserve. Samuel Stockett is a good quarterback. He did throw a pick six tonight, but he threw some really great passes. And Case Thomas and Will Bezot are two great wide receivers. The MRA is going to be, if they're not champions, it'll be a big disappointment. That's a really good team.
Josh, look, man, thanks for calling in, and I'm on the MRA train. I have been. I've been waving the flag for them. Thank you for calling in. We want to hear from you more often, friend.
Hey, next one.
All right. Well, thanks for that call, and that was a good report on that ball game for sure. Friday Night Under the Lights will continue in just a few moments to remind you that sponsorship comes from the College Savings of Mississippi, a division of the State Treasurer of the state of Mississippi. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
If the money's yours, you should have it. That's why State Treasurer David McRae has returned a record $80 million in unclaimed money to Mississippians. And there's hundreds of millions more, maybe with your name on it. Check the list. Visit www.treasury.ms.gov and see if you have any of the unclaimed money. Each year, banks, utilities, businesses, brokers, and insurance companies turn over millions of dollars to the state because they're not sure who is entitled to the funds. Treasurer McRae has an entire unclaimed money staff waiting to take your claim and return your money. Check the list today. Treasury.ms.gov.
And Christians shut out St. Patrick 36-0. Let's see. Copiah Academy over Silliman Institute 18-6. St. Martin beat Biloxi 28-24. Taylorsville won over Stringer 49-12. Sumrall over Seminary 20-7. And Tri-County beat Wayne Academy 38-7. So Tri-County is now 5-1 on the season. The only blemish on their record was the loss that they had to Jackson Prep back a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and we'll hear from Cliff Barker here in just a second.
And Cliff is on the phone. All
right.
You want to take
yes,
Ty
let's
just
go to
because
Ty.
you know Ty?
Let's go to Ty.
Here he is.
Ty?
Hello.
Hey, what I know you're giving us a report on Crystal Springs. How did the Tigers do tonight?
We lost to Franklin County 46-6.
46-6. Okay, well, now that was it. Was that at home or was that on the road?
That was at Franklin County at Meadville.
Okay, at Meadville. Well, you know, Crystal Springs is they're having one of those seasons. They're having trouble scoring points, and you know, they haven't gotten a win yet. But who do they have next week?
We have Jefferson County next week for homecoming,
Ooh.
and I hope they lost tonight, so we could both be 0-6.
Okay. Well, better days are ahead. I don't know exactly when, but I know better days are ahead. But we appreciate your loyalty and you calling in each week and giving us a report. I know you went to Starkville last Saturday. Tough loss for the Dogs. They played well, though.
They did. They put every team in the SEC on point for that play.
Yeah,
they played well.
Well, they did. They absolutely. They've improved tremendously. All right, so let's take us out, okay?
Go Dogs! Look at hard!
Okay. All right, Ty. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your call. Nothing like Ty. He's a loyal caller. And he's a loyal listener, that's for sure.
He's got to go front in the line, man.
He goes to the head of the line. There's no question about that. Who we got next, Chris?
Gentleman, Cliff Barker.
Well, we definitely got to put him ahead, Ty, of this guy. Cliff Barker, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Is that Jared Schatz I'm talking to?
That is Jared Schatz.
What the world?
How are you, buddy? How about Tri-County tonight? Got a big win, 38-7.
Yeah, well, last time we went down to Waynesboro, we got that butt kicked back in 2020, I think. We lost the second-round playoff game down there, so it was big to get in there and get a big win. We took care of business early. We had actually, the game kind of started off rough. We stopped Wayne for a 3-and-out on the first drive. They punted to us. We muffed the punt very uncharacteristically, gave them the ball right back, but another 3-and-out, and then from there on, it was just all Rebels in the first half. It was 38-0 at halftime, and then they added a late touchdown in the fourth quarter against our second and third string guys to make it 38-7. So took care of business, but now we got to get ready for St. Joe next week, then end up the season with 3 weeks of district play, Central Hines, Leake, and Riverfield to finish the season.
Yeah, Cliff, and tell us, since that Jackson Prep ball game, look, Tri-County's been very upset, obviously. They haven't allowed more than 12 points. That was Washington a couple of weeks ago. But this football team, after that Jackson Prep loss, just picking up where they left off before that ball game.
Yeah, well, they're strong defensively, and the big benefit of that Jackson Prep game was it identified some deficiencies, because prior to that Prep game, the Rebels had not been challenged at all. So I think it was you never want to say a loss is a good thing, but in a way, when you can identify some problems, get some good film to study, find some things to work on. And one of the biggest improvements we've made since then is defensive back play. As an example here tonight, Wayne Academy, they brought in some pretty serious athletes, although they're young. Tri-County was outsized by the wide receivers from Wayne Academy, but played much better pass defense. That secondary has improved tremendously, and I think it's going to pay dividends as the season continues on, especially when you face a team like Leake. And, everybody knows right now in 3A it's looking like the two powerhouses are Leake and Tri-County, and 2 weeks from now, we'll see what happens when those two teams face off.
Well, I was about to ask you. So I filled in tonight as a color analyst for Leake Academy because we had the week off. And I was thinking about this ball game here in a couple of weeks, and it's a good time for that secondary of Tri-County to really, button it up, because Wilcox is the real deal. That's going to be a heck of a ball game.
That's right. Wilcox is going to sling it, but the one big advantage Tri-County has is 2 great defensive ends, and actually 3 now. We've had one of our defensive ends out for the last couple of weeks with a little injury. He'll be back in a week or 2, but it found a new guy that came in and filled into that spot that's just about as good. Tri-County's relentless with pass rush, and I'm hoping that's going to have an effect against Leake. We'll wait and see. And I misspoke. It's not 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks, but 3 weeks down the road, that's going to be a big one, Tri-County versus Leake in 3A.
I may call out sick for my ball game just to go watch that. It should be a lot of fun, my friend.
I'm looking forward to it, and the best part about it is it's going to be in Florida.
Absolutely. Can't wait to hear about it. Cliff, thanks as always, buddy. Good to talk to you.
All right. See you soon, Jared.
All right, let me give you one score. This is a game, we've been talking about West Point, and they may be, arguably now probably the top team in the state, even though they're a 5A school. They beat Callaway tonight 42-0. And you would kind of expect them to beat Callaway, but Callaway was 4-1, so they've had a pretty good record. So West Point's unscathed to this point.
Yeah, Callaway's a really good year. I mean, one of their best years they've had in recent memory, especially to start a season. But West Point's just on a different level. I look at MRA and I look at West Point, and West Point had just about everybody back. I can't remember how many returning starters, but I think they had the whole defense back. And you talk about, you've been in a football game when you play the Green Wave, just very, very aggressive on both sides of the football.
Yeah, very, very physical.
Hey, we got Tommy Barnett from JA.
Tommy, how are you, my friend? Tell us about Jackson Academy and Magnolia Heights tonight.
Yeah, Jay went on the road, and I thought it would be at least a challenge for the Raiders. But guys, it was 35-0 before the end of the first quarter.
Ooh.
And I really thought this would be a trap game for Jay after the loss to MLK last week. Then Jackson on the horizon this week. But boy, Jay was all business tonight. Very focused, business trip pretty much for him. And Kevin and I guys, Max, 29 plays, grand total of 28 total yards offense.
Hey, Tommy, what was the final score?
52-0.
52-0. Okay.
Well, you talk about a rebound, and that was going to be my question after that tough loss to MRA. But, look, you hear the saying from some of the great coaches, don't waste a failure, don't miss an opportunity to grow from that. But, Jackson Academy, look at all the expectations coming into the season. And look, they're going to shake that ball game away, from last week. And this is a football team that they may get that revenge game at the end of the year that they've been looking for.
Yeah, that's what we talked about after the game last week was, chances are we'll probably see them again. Of course, guys, it sets up for a really yard. Jackson Prep says, I think whoever wins that game will more than likely get the 2 seed in the 4A Division I playoffs, which means you get that's huge in the playoffs.
All right, Tommy, we're going to cut you loose. You're breaking in and out a little bit, but thank you for calling in and giving us that report on the Raiders tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, George.
All right, so Jackson Academy goes on the road to Magnolia Heights. Pretty good football team, and they win 52-0. I've heard just from what I read, but JA's got a lot of talent. A lot of Division I commits.
Coming into the season and listening to folks like Chris Brooks and some of these gurus around the state of Mississippi, they had more blue chip talent than any team in the state of Mississippi. And when they get off the bus,
they look like it.
If you took the JA off, you would think it was the Oakland Raiders rolling into town.
All right, let me give you a couple of more scores. We mentioned this one earlier, but it's worth repeating. Gulfport defeated Ocean Springs tonight, 41-28. Hopefully, we're going to get a report on that at some point in time. Let's see. We mentioned Jackson Prep. They had the big win over Natchez Cathedral tonight, 49-0 on the road. That's where Russ was tonight. Let me see. Let me give you some that I've not given. Petal, last week. And Harold will call in later about Petal, but they got off to kind of a slow start. They beat Clinton last week at home, which was a good win for them. But apparently they had a very strong game tonight against West Jones, winning 45-6. And West Jones, of course, is a 6A school, but they were 4-1 going into that game.
Yeah, West Jones has really been playing some good football the last few years. Got a state championship a couple of years ago, and look, I can't wait to hear from Harold. It is just a roller coaster right now for Petal. You look at them 4-2. They're playing well at home. They're undefeated at home at 3-0. They beat Hattiesburg to start the year. Ocean Springs very tough. Columbia, one of the most underrated teams in the state of Mississippi, took a tough one there, and then they edged one out against Gulfport a couple of weeks ago. Big win over Clinton. So they've won 3 in a row. So they're playing some really good football right now.
Who does Germantown, I know you call Germantown, but who do they have next week?
Yeah, Germantown is going to welcome the Starkville Yellow Jackets to town.
Oh, my, that's a great way to start the district play, isn't it?
Thank goodness they had a week off.
All right, and they play Clinton the week after that, right?
I believe that's right.
Yeah, okay.
District play is here, folks.
Yeah.
It's about to get a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna get real serious in a hurry. Let me give you a couple more scores. We're almost out of time for this segment. Richton defeated Resurrection 28-7, and Presbyterian Christian. I think I mentioned this one earlier, but PCS defeated St. Patrick tonight, 36-0. All right, we've reached the bottom of the hour, and we'll remind you that support for Friday Night Under the Lights comes from the State Treasurer of Mississippi and College Savings Mississippi, the administrators of the Mississippi Affordable College Savings Plan. Their website is treasury.ms.go.gov/college savings. We'll be back with more Friday Night Under the Lights in a moment.
Mississippians love football, and our high schools in South Mississippi like Gulfport, Moss Point, and Ocean Springs stay connected with their students, parents, and community by live streaming events, including football through WSN Live. WSN Live provides your school with everything you need for professional and seamless live streams that are easy for students to run. And your fans can watch online from anywhere on any device. With WSN Live, your school gets the right gear, a rock-solid network, and game-time tech support. Learn more at WSNLive.com.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB. Your stories, our mission.
There's more information at m.ms.gov.
This is MPB Think Radio. Mississippi is our mission.
Hey guys, we are segment 3 of hour 1 of show 6 here on Friday Night Under the Lights, and we'll have Tommy Upton and Caleb Hamill on this hour. And Caleb is already on there. There's some scores you want to do first before we go to Caleb?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can throw in a couple more here. Let's see. Brookhaven Academy defeated Adams County Christian tonight, 19-15 was the final there. Biggersville defeated Baldwin 27-6. Heritage Academy over East Rankin 42-14. Have not mentioned that one. Corinth shut out South Pontotoc 63-0. That was probably the biggest point spreads that I've seen tonight so far. DeSoto Central defeated Germantown of Germantown, Tennessee, not Germantown, Mississippi version, 44-28. DeSoto Central won that game. And it was Hancock over Bay High, 48-6, which that was a battle of two teams that had not won, but Hancock got a big win tonight, 48-6. And let's see, one more. Well, let's see. Itawamba AHS defeated Boonville 41-10. All right.
We've got Caleb Hamill to talk about South Jones at Long Beach.
Let's talk to Mr. Hamill. Caleb, I talk to you more than my own family trying to get the podcast ready every week. How are you, my friend? Tell us about this ball game.
The feeling's mutual. Our wives would probably get more time together than they do with us if they got together during the week. I mean, this game tonight, Long Beach hosting South Jones, about like a one-eyed, hairless cat with 3 legs. It was ugly. This is one where the penalties were one thing, but South Jones had 4 turnovers in the first half, and then had another one in the third quarter. But led 13-0 at half, and we're lucky to do that because the defense just was so good. End up winning the ball game 35-7. One of their best running backs, Anquan Jackson, ejected due to getting 2 unsportsmanlike conduct fouls. I think we had in total 7 or 8 total between the two teams before all was said and done. In fact, it got so out of hand with about 4.5 minutes left in the game. Both coaches met at midfield with the officials just to talk about how does the end of this game look. Should we just call it here or what? But all said and done, South Jones gets their 6th win, and they're 6-0 for the first time since 1997.
Wow. I mean, look, everybody thought they might have a better year, South Jones, but nobody saw this coming, Caleb.
No, and I think if you look at the skill position players that returned from last year, you thought there was an inkling that it could happen. But Colin Flowers, up through this point, has made a huge improvement from a season ago. Maybe saw some of the miscues tonight, but some of those interceptions or fumbles were not all his fault. But all said and done, this South Jones team is legit. They are a contender, and right now they're undefeated.
So what game of the week are you going to have next week? Because you've had some good ones. I know this one didn't really live up to the bill, but as far as some broadcasters that have something to talk about and some of your calls we've seen this year, what do you have next week?
We will have Old Brook coming to face Laurel between the bricks.
And Brookhaven, a very talented football team, and Coach Ryan Ernest trying to get Laurel. You know, this is the time of year that Laurel usually turns it on.
Yeah, that's right. And this is the time where all of a sudden those tough opponents they have at the start of the year start coming back to help them in the stretch of region play. But a tough task ahead for probably the contender to win their region in game number 1 of region play with Brookhaven.
Well, thank you, brother. We appreciate you calling in. Of course, I thank you for everything you do for us and our podcast and our state championships broadcast, which, hey, look, quick plug, man. They're coming quickly.
Yeah, they really are. I'm looking forward to it. And this will be our first time since I've joined the crew to be in Starkville. It's been a while.
Yeah, 2016, the last time they were in Starkville. And, of course, you can hear those state championships right here on all these MPB stations. Caleb, thank you so much, friend. Safe travels home.
Thanks, Jared. Y'all have a good night.
All right, well, let's see. Let me give you a couple of scores. Got a couple of games that just got an update on. Louisville won tonight over Yazoo City, 42-8. And McGee had a knockdown drag out with Jefferson Davis County. McGee ended up winning 36-35. McGee's having a pretty good year.
They are, and Jefferson Davis County. This was supposed to be the year that Coach Mancuso and JDC really got back on the map. I mean, everybody remembers the state championships and that they made for several years, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit. Just a proud program, obviously with Bassfield and that crew all consolidating, but they have struggled a little bit this year. That is a big win for McGee.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, and we'll talk about this one a little more, and we may get a report later on in the evening. But Oxford comes to Madison Central and beats Madison Central 16-14. Madison Central has had, they've had kind of a tough year. I mean, so far, they're 3-3, and they lost some tough games. But Oxford's having a strong season.
Oxford, very, very good. If you think about this guy, so they played Tupelo a couple of weeks ago, almost won that ball game. They were winning. Okay, they could have ended that streak. They were very close to ending, I think it was 17-game winning streak for Tupelo. Then they turn around and end the streak for Grenada, who was the defending state champs.
Yeah.
They're playing very, very well. That ball game, that score's a little bit closer than what I anticipated, and a lot of people that keep up with high school football in this state for Oxford to come on the road. Madison Central really played a good ball game tonight. They're a defensive squad, the Jags are. We know about Oxford and Coach Cutcliffe. They can put up a lot of points, but look, Madison Central kicked a 58-yarder at the end of that ball game with a chance to win it. I know the odds aren't very good, but they thought that was their best way to have a chance at winning it. But that's a big win for Oxford. Madison Central, they're just trying to get this young offense up to par as we get deeper into district play.
That tells me something about the difference between high school football now than, say, years ago. You'd have never even conceived of trying a 58-yard field goal.
No. There's a select few. If you remember Steven Guskowski, who was the Madison Central kicker, he could kick it, to the moon as a freshman and sophomore and beyond.
He kicked in the NFL
for years. Yeah, he's got a few Super Bowl rings, but beyond that, there's just not a lot of kids with that kind of power that can do it at the high school level. But that's the Jags thought he might be the best solution as they ran out there for a potential game-winning kick, but just did not have the distance.
You may not know much about this. I don't know much about this. There are people that call into the show that do a lot more than I do. But Russ and I were kind of texting back and forth today, and Hartfield goes on the road to play Tupelo, and I said, Russ, I mean. Gee whiz! what a schedule! And Tupelo ends up winning 35-0. But he was saying that they get power points for that or something. Or I don't really understand that in the way they're doing the MAIS classifications now.
It takes a mathematician, probably from a university, to explain some of the playoff formats and stuff that I really need to familiarize myself with. But how about this? Look, Hartfield's had a tough year. They lost a lot off that two-time defending state champ teams the last couple of years. But I think everybody in the state of Mississippi would have loved to have seen this ball game a year ago.
Yeah.
Tupelo, they ended up winning 7A, and then obviously Hartfield wins the MAIS. This ball game a year ago would have been terrific. Hartfield trying to find themselves right now.
Yeah. I think we got another caller,
We've
Chris.
got Jake Wimberly on the phone.
Jakester, my friend, look, I knew you were a baseball fan, but a soccer fan? 3-0, the Brandon Bulldogs with the win over Northwest Rankin.
I tell you what, hey, it's postseason baseball in the major leagues, and we're just trying to mirror that tonight, 3-0. So got the no hitter. Now, Shot's good to talk to you, brother. Glad to hear you in the chair, doing a great job. And George, glad to talk to you and Chris. Yeah, hey, 3-0 tonight over at Northwest Rankin. First big hat tip to Northwest Rankin. Man, if you haven't been to a ball game, and Jared, I know you called a ball game out here recently out there. What a facility! What an atmosphere! They've just done a great job just with their tailgating area. It's just a packed house tonight. They're just a wonderful place to call a football game and to watch a football game. But this was a ball game tonight where Brandon was without their starting quarterback, Slayton Shack. He was in injury protocol after last week. He took a big shot, so just being careful with him. They held him out tonight. They turned to Tyson Robinson, kind of the old school Wildcat offense. Dogs, 39 plays, 190 yards tonight. Tyson Robinson, 23 of those by himself, 175. And look, Northwest Rankin played really good defense. They figured out what Brandon was trying to do, and this was a game that was very, very fast as far as the time on the clock. Gavin Phillipson for Northwest Rankin, he went 12 of 27 for 79 yards, and Jermani Hayden, a really good back they have, 18 carries for 89. And Jace Eldridge was able to punch out a 36-yard field goal with about 4.5 minutes left, and then the Bulldogs able to, kind of stymie the Cougars there with about a minute left. They were on the move. They crossed the 50, but Brandon held tight. Got a win 3-0. Look, it wasn't pretty. Dogs didn't get one passing yard tonight. First time that's happened in maybe a decade. But at the end of the night, the one thing that matters is the W, and they got it. They get to 3-3. 1-0 in the region. They'll have a bye week, a much-needed bye week coming up, and then they'll come back home 2 weeks from tonight and take on the Petal Panthers.
Well, Jake, you've talked about the offense. You said it had to get in gear, but obviously with Shaq out. And look, turning the football over to Robinson as the Wildcat quarterback, he's coming off injury. So a lot of pressure on Robinson to run that offense in a district ball game on the road at Northwest Rankin. And then the defense for Brandon, they've been very good this year. So a lot of pressure on that unit. And then Robinson, of course, coming off that injury.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the things that was kind of the unspoken thing at the stadium is, boy, we just hope he doesn't pull up, with another injury, because we knew he was going to tote the football, north of 20, maybe even 30 times. So You're absolutely correct. And to add insult to injury, I mean, C.J. Campbell, who's done a great job in his absence, he goes out with an injury. He'll be back. So, I mean, we're down to razor-thin depth on the offensive side of the ball. But credit Tyson Robinson, credit Lance Pogue in this defense. They were able to gut it out and get the win.
Well, Jake, remind me again, I think you said, but remind me who you have next.
Excuse me. We got a bye week coming up next week, and then we'll be back at home against Petal.
Okay.
A much improved Petal team.
Yeah, much improved
Yeah.
Petal. We talked about that, and they had a big win tonight, I believe, of West Jones. I believe that's
they whipped West Jones very, very well tonight. And look, I mean, this bye week couldn't come at a better time for the Dogs, Jake.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, guys. It's a much-needed bye week. We'll take it.
Yeah. All right, Jake, thanks so much for the report.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great show.
All right, sure thing. We'll talk to you next week. Well, with this music means that we're almost finished with this segment. We've got another 15 minutes to go in the first hour. We'll remind you that support for Friday Night Under the Lights comes from Malone Roofing. They do metal, walls, maintenance, roofing, and they serve Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and the Florida Panhandle. Commercial and residential roofing information can be found at ecmalone.com. Back with more Friday Night Under the Lights in just a moment.
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
And we're back to the last quarter hour of our first hour of the Friday night show number 6. We're hoping here in a minute Joseph Craven will be on the phone, but he and Ty are talking right at the moment. And
yeah, we think Ty's on the side trying to sell insurance or something. I mean, I don't know what the deal is.
Political office.
So whatever. We don't know.
Joseph Craven is ready. Here he is, Joseph.
Joseph, how are you, my friend? Tell us about Hartfield versus Tupelo. That's a mean squad in North Mississippi. But, hey, hats off to Hartfield for that tough ball game. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And I kind of joked on the air that it was probably a matchup that I think both teams were a lot more excited about before the season started. And then, of course, Tupelo lost their starting quarterback for a few weeks, and Hartfield has had injuries and turnover problems. And so it was a little bit like a glorified exhibition game for both teams to kind of try to work on some things, to clean up a few mistakes. Tupelo in particular was trying to get some more traditional offense lined up to let J.J. Hill, their phenomenal running back, who has been playing quarterback for them, allowing him to get back into, traditional running back formations and lineups and with a backup quarterback. And they basically use it as a tune-up. Both teams were to try to get into district play for both squads coming up in the next couple of weeks. So it was a good contest. I mean, it was 7-0 at halftime. Good back and forth for the first half in particular, but the depth of a 7A MHSAA squad versus an MAIS squad really showed in the second half.
Yeah, and I had said the same thing. If we would have seen this ball game, kind of that overall state championship last year, I'm beating the drum for that last year. And you're right, when the schedule came out this year, it was one of those that everybody turned to, but there's been some misfortunes on both squads, so it didn't really live up to the hype, but still two quality programs.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's good football regardless. Both teams showed a lot of really good stuff. The Hartfield defense had, up to this point in the season, struggled quite a bit in stopping the run game. And so when you're going up against a team that has 1,400, rushing yards on the season, you're like, well, we'll see what they can do. And they stood strong. They really did. For the entire first half, that run game held tight, stopped the Tupelo offense multiple times. So there's a lot for the Hawks to feel proud about. And from the Tupelo perspective, I know that they felt great about being able to kind of have a tune-up game coming off of their first loss I think they won 18 straight games before West Point got them last week. So I know they kind of enjoyed having that opportunity to treat it like an exhibition and clean some stuff up. But, it was a good football game, especially that first half, really entertaining. I think both teams walk out of there getting kind of exactly what they expected to get out of that game. But you're absolutely right. If that game had happened week one of the season, that would have been unbelievable. That would have been must-watch TV.
Hey, Joseph, this is George. I mean, obviously you've played a really challenging schedule to this point. What's the kind of the injury situation with Hartfield?
Plentiful. Yeah, I think that's the right word for it. It's been a handful of them. Very much at the top of the list there is, of course, the star safety, the 5-star prospect, the Auburn commitment, Braylon Womack, who has been dealing with a nagging ankle or foot injury for the past couple of weeks. And right along with him is the star running back and linebacker, Katie Catchings, who had a shoulder issue that he picked up against Jackson Academy a few weeks ago. Those are the top two, but there's been other things. A linebacker, reserve linebacker, who plays a lot of minutes, coming in as like a second string, Spence Bradshaw. He was out, and I think for the most part, everyone is expected to be healthy and most likely ready for Lamar School and the start of district play next week.
Okay,
that's the general consensus. I don't think any of the injuries at this point are considered to be long-term injuries. But that's something that I'll be able to get, word on for sure, obviously next week when I talk with coaching staff and the training staff and all that. But those are all things that we expected to be, 2 to 3 to 4 week injuries, and we're kind of hitting that third week right now.
I got you.
So it should be coming out, but it's made a huge impact. I mean, the offense in particular has looked drastically different without Catchings and Womack available.
Yeah,
so
and Coach Bowman, he's going to right the ship. I mean, that's a tremendous program at Hartfield, and got to get Womack healthy. And I've seen some of the athletes over there at Hartfield. Impressive group. Hey, look, it's not easy to play a Tupelo team. Coming off their first loss in 2 years. We talked about some of these, teams that get off the bus. Tupelo is one of those. They get off the bus, you're like, yeah, we're in for a dogfight.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And they gave everything that the Hawks were honestly hoping to get. Wanted to get one final big-time battle test out of the way before district play starts. And, you can't get much better than the, defending 7A champions, a heck of a good team. But you're right. Coach Bowman, one thing I always respect about Craig Bowman as well is that he'll make no excuses. He won't shy away from any of the difficult issues. He's been very open about how a lot of the losses that Hartfield's suffered through this year, we feel like we're self-inflicted. Too many turnovers, too many penalties. Not afraid to admit that, not afraid to admit that that's what they've been trying to preach to the kids all the time. And I think that's what makes him such a good coach and has made the program grow so quickly, is that he's just honest.
Yep. He'll right that ship. There's no doubt a classic program over there and one that's going to be a menace for a lot of teams in the future. Joseph, thanks for joining us, man, and best of luck to you guys next week.
Much appreciated. Yep, we'll talk to y'all then.
All right.
Now let's talk to Philip Palmertree.
Philip, everything went right tonight for Leak Academy, 51-7. You had a terrible color analyst and stat guy, but everything else went right.
Well, no, it was a little better than that. I was just looking at those Jared Schatz hand-kept stats on George Wilcox tonight, the Leak senior quarterback, and you can take these stats to the bank, baby. 13 of 17 passing for 324 yards and 5 touchdowns, and that was in just 2 quarters. George has only played 9 out of the last 16 quarters because Leak has just blown people out and brought in the subs, to take it easy on the other team.
This passing attack, in this offense in general, it gets all the credit, but we talked about it when we did the ball game. This defense for Leak Academy, it's good. It's not a big unit, but these guys play hard. They play fundamentally sound. This is a football team that I think it's the complete package, very complimentary of each other.
It is, and Coach Brian Pickens told me going into week 1 that he thought this could be one of the better defenses he's had in 24 seasons at Leak. And I was a little skeptical at the time because I had looked at the roster and I knew the guys who had left from last year, and we lost a lot of size in the front 7. A lot smaller group out there, but boy, they are everything you said they were. They tackle really well, play well at the back end, and really made life hard for Kenton tonight.
But the thing is I didn't see much drop off. The starters did not come in the second half with a rolling clock, and we talked about it. Some of these kids, they just roll right on into the ball game, and you have to look up and really see that those are the backups because they don't miss a beat.
Yeah, and of course this is the trade-off when you're winning games by big margins in today's football. You have that running clock, so sometimes those guys don't get as many snaps as they might otherwise. That's a debate for another time. But yeah, you really got to love the 4th straight week that second-team players, some scout team guys get in and play hard, and Coach Pickens and that staff coach them hard down to the very last play of the game. Leak's just playing very good football tonight, playing well special teams, defense, and, of course, offensively.
And they are going to be something that teams want to dodge down the line. Hey, Philip, it was a pleasure calling that ball game with you. And as always, thanks for calling into Friday Night Under the Lights. I hope you have a great weekend, my friend.
Thanks. Enjoyed working with you as well.
All right. One score as we go out. Vicksburg tonight got a nice win at home against Florence. 39-35. We had a lot of close games to this Friday night.
Yeah.
A lot of good matchups.
Vicksburg, a team that they are trying to play some better football. That is a win to try to boost their season.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll remind you as we take this break again that support for Friday Night Under the Lights comes from Cricket Wireless. They got phones, plans, and coverage information that can be found at their website, which is cricketwireless.com. We'll be back with the next hour of Friday Night Under the Lights in just a moment.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great following. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with, that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
Mississippians love football, and our high schools in South Mississippi like Gulfport, Moss Point, and Ocean Springs stay connected with their students, parents, and community by live streaming events, including football through WSN Live. WSN Live provides your school with everything you need for professional and seamless live streams that are easy for students to run. And your fans can watch online from anywhere on any device. With WSN Live, your school gets the right gear, a rock-solid network, and game-time tech support. Learn more at WSNLive.com.
And we're back, and it's the top of the second hour today. And one thing that's coming up in hour 2 is the Cricket Wireless Crazy Eights. And we've got J.C. Fox is here, and he'll be coming on at 11:30. But that was a quick first hour. And George Harold to talk about Petal is on the phone.
All right, Harold. It sounds like Petal is on a roll. They won again tonight.
Harold? Hang on, make sure.
All right.
Let me try.
All right, we
do.
did.
It says he's on there.
Yeah, there he is.
Harold, are you there?
There he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, 45-6. A big win for Petal tonight over West Jones. Tell us about it.
Yes. Yeah, it was a good ball game, guys. Started off, I wanted to say out my staff again. I always open it up to Robert and all of them. You know, excellent. The atmosphere there tonight was fantastic. The people from So come in early. They got the kickoff to begin up 6-0. Petal goes up 7-6, and then it's just all Petal all night long, guys. I mean, it was just an awesome ball game. So it was there. You know, it was a good ball game, real good. And Jared, it's good to be talking with you on the phone tonight too, my friend.
Yeah, Harold, hope you're doing well, man. Good to be at Ground Zero tonight to talk to you about the Petal Panthers. Look, I got to ask you, friend. I mean, look, undefeated at home, 3-0 from what I can see. The defense has really played well the last couple of weeks. Gave up 3 to Clinton a week ago, and then only 6 tonight. It's hard to beat that, my friend.
It is. It really is. It shows that the defense is really coming around, and I'm going to tell you something. That staff that we got out there is working. I've seen a lot of enthusiasm. Corey Wells was over there. He was in on some plays, and then on some of them he was over there just cheering them on to get them boys going. And I'm telling you, that atmosphere of the winning that they did, like we said, opening up against Hattiesburg, and then you go against a good Ocean Springs team, which tonight got beat by Gulfport. And I'm telling you, that Coast Division is something. But then Columbia, I think the Columbia game woke us up because they went in there and they played the good one there. But then coming up and beating Gulfport,
down there and going for 2 to win the ball game, and then you get up against Clinton and you beat them, and then tonight, hey, I'm telling you, it's kicking in. We're getting ready to start division next week against the Oak Grove Warriors at Oak Grove, and it's going to be something to see how both teams, go up on there.
Both teams have really been playing well. Wasn't really the start that either team wanted, but that's one of those I always tell the guys on our podcast, if we had the helicopter, that's one of those I want to go to.
I would love to see you come down there and watch that game. Like you said, you got with Leak up there, you got a good squad going on there with Leak Academy. I'm telling you, that sounds like the academy schools are playing some good ball clubs, because Tri-County, it's just like y'all said about Tri-County. Tri-County loses that one ball game, they're not going to play around. I don't think Tri-County's going to play around, guys. I think come the championship games, you're going to see Tri-County somewhere near right there in the fight and trying to make that move to go to Starkville or wherever the academy playoffs will be at.
Yeah, and Harold, look, I'm very excited about hearing your report next week, at Oak Grove after that ball game. That should be one of the best ball games in the state of Mississippi next week.
I would think it would be one of the best ball games. I don't know who's going to be the game of the week. We were the game of the week this week with West Jones, because I know we had a lot of the schools that were off and all, but just to see how Brandon is going to handle, that ball game right there. I thought it was going to be a dogfight for a Brandon Northwest Rankin ball game, and Brandon comes up and wins it 3-0. So they're not going to be playing around much longer either. It's going to boil down. You're in the thick of it now. And like I said, on the coast, and I follow the coast just to make sure what's going on. The Iberville's sitting right there. St. Martin. Look at this. West Harrison, Gulfport, but then the 2 bottom schools, they could come around and do something. So, hey, I'm telling you.
It's wide open in the South. It really is.
And I'm going to tell you, it's wide open, and you're going to have some good things coming out of it. And I'm telling you, when it comes to All-Star games, hey, look at the All-Star teams this year. It's going to be something there, too. You got, I think, 3 of the 4 guys from Petal, Corey Wills, and 2 more are going to be on the All-Stars this year. So, hey, it builds around that talent, but it starts with those little bitty programs too. I mean,
that's right.
Where the kids get to go and play football, and then they continue on. You've got that little league like we've got here with the association league of the Pee Wee program. Hey, I went last week and watched Russ, the 2 little boys play. I mean, they lost, but hey, there was some enthusiasm in those kids, and in the way that the people around here support that program. They support the kids. They do 100% in showing, hey, we're going to support y'all, and that's what I'm doing. I'm backing them 100%. Next week's going to be a good ball game.
It is.
From here on out, it is going to be, Jared, I'm telling y'all, George, it is going to be something next week to see just what kind of game it's going to be.
I can't wait to hear the report. Coach Causey, Coach Boyle will have his squads ready. And, Harold, we can't wait to hear from you next week. Thanks for calling in, my friend.
All right, buddy. Yeah, we'll talk to y'all next week.
Have a great weekend.
Hey, we've got Mike Peterson on the phone.
Mike, how are you, sir? Welcome in to Friday Night Under the Lights.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be with y'all tonight. Hattiesburg had an open date tonight, so we didn't play anybody. But I did not have an open date tonight, as I went up to Seminary and watched Seminary and Summerall play, and Summerall won it by a final score of 20-7. About Summerall this year, they are now 5-1 on the season, and this is after they went 1-10 last year. So Summerall has really turned it around this year.
Yeah, that's a heck of a turnaround for a football team that, they're mostly known for a little baseball action. But Seminary had a lot of expectations coming into this year.
I believe they did, but now they're like
2 and 4, and actually 2, 4, and 1. I actually have a tie ball game in there.
Right. So now, fortunately for them, district play hasn't started. I think district play for everybody will start next week, but that's a good win for Summerall. Like I said, going from 1-10 last year to 5-1 this year, that's really a good win for the Bobcats.
Well, getting back to your Hattiesburg, who do they have next week?
We have a Thursday night game next week at Jim Hill. In fact, our next 2 games are Thursday night at Jim Hill next week, and then 2 weeks from tonight back up to 2 weeks from last night back up to Jackson again for a region game with Forest Hill. So looking forward to region play.
So how is Tristan Keys? I know he has been injured. Is he coming back in the next few weeks?
He played last week, and get this, first pass to him went for a touchdown. So we are definitely glad to have Tristan Keys back playing with us.
That's a big, big weapon. Well, we certainly appreciate you calling in, Mike, and we want to hear from you next week.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Have a great night.
Gentlemen, let's talk to John Weaver, MRA.
John, I've been waiting for you to call in, man. I've been riding this MRA train, and another big win in Baton Rouge. It sounded like Death Valley on the radio. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're on that train. A lot of other people on that train, too. It's rolling down the tracks right now. What a game for the Patriots tonight in Baton Rouge, taking on Catholic High School. The either number 2 or number 3, depending on what poll you look at in the state of Louisiana. They were in the semis last year, lost to Edna Carr, but Patriots go up 3-0 early, and then go down 7-3. They score again to go up 9-3, miss the PAT, and then Wade Hansford, as time runs out at halftime, the Patriots go up 12-7 at half. Wade Hansford connects on a 50-yard field goal. That's how it ends in the half. We come out and body blows, I guess, back and forth. It was probably one of the most physical games I've seen in a while. And then Patriots go up by 7. Samuel Stockett throws a pick 6, so we're tied at 20. And Patriots go ahead late in the ball game, 27-0 on a 3rd down conversion. Baton Rouge Catholic gets the ball, drives down, and they're everything running back. I think he's committed to Ohio State. Breaks off a 52-yard run. The defense jumps off sides, so they decide to go for 2. MRA stuffs it. 27-26. We recover an onside kick and then run the clock out for the ball game.
Yeah, John, that game, we were talking about this earlier. We were listening to that, and you couldn't really tell how big the crowd was. The noise, the horn or whatever was going off in that stadium was awfully loud, and you could almost hard to hear the broadcasters even call the game because the noise was so loud. But that's an impressive win on the road for sure.
Yeah, you look at the gauntlet that the Patriots have gone through. Coach Davis does this on purpose. This one I told Russ last week, I thought he was crazy when he scheduled all these games. But they've taken on 2 of the top teams in Tennessee. They've gone through the Metro with Jackson Academy, Hartfield, and Prep. And then you go and play Collierville and take care of them. 6-3-37, you go to Catholic out of Baton Rouge, which is one of the top programs in the state, notably if you start mentioning teams, West Monroe, Catholic, John Ehret, you start talking about those teams to go knock that one off and to go into a bye week 6-1 is a good feeling right now for the Patriots. But yeah, going back to that crowd, they have a home stadium, but it was homecoming tonight. So the Memorial Stadium is like a concrete jungle. It's concrete, literally. Natural grass field, and it was rocking. It seats 21,000. The MRA contingency was not as big, but the Catholic High School, that whole home side was full, and they were not stopping on that horn. I don't know the legalities of a ref calling that
I said the same thing.
horn to go off again, but I can promise you, I bet our student section probably will have 10 or 12 when they return the trip next year to Madison.
Well, they learned something, I guess.
Well, John, I look at this resume, and if you talk to a lot of the MRA folks, especially going back to that Ravenwood game, a game that a lot of the MRA folks said, man, we had that ball game. I mean, we should have won that ball game. This is one of the most impressive resumes, and if they somehow get that, I don't think there's any doubt it's the most impressive resume. But, I mean, this MRA team – it has been a model of consistency all year against the top-notch talent and teams in the state of Mississippi, and obviously Louisiana and Tennessee and everywhere else. I mean, they will play anybody. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's the old anyone, anywhere, anytime mantra that USM used to have. And, look, I tell it all the time, and I tell it on the pregame show this afternoon with Herbert. As long as Herbert Davis, head football coach at MRA, the consistency, the dedication, the discipline, and the passion for the game, his coaches are going to be ready, his kids are going to be ready, and they're always going to be successful.
Well, great job, John. We appreciate you calling. You guys are off next week, so you can rest your hearts after that close ball game tonight.
Absolutely. We'll rest our eyes for a week, and then we'll be back playing Park Lane at homecoming back on Old Canton Road.
Awesome. Have a great weekend, John. Thanks for calling us.
All right, we'll remind you that support for Friday Night Under the Lights comes from Malone Roofing. Metal, walls, maintenance, all kinds of things. Malone Roofing. Back in just a moment.
Support for MPB comes from MDOT. MDOT has the
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today. One in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great follow-up. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with, that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
And we're back here in the 11 o'clock hour, and George has got some more scores for us.
Yes, let me give you some scores. We haven't given any in a while, but I want to give you some of the bigger scores of the night. Brandon shut out Northwest Rankin 3-0. It was another shutout. West Point beating Callaway 42-0. A third shutout. Columbia defeating Lawrence County 48-0. D'Iberville beat West Harrison 25-7. It was Vicksburg outscoring Florence 39-35. Gulfport, one of the bigger wins of the night. Gulfport beating Ocean Springs, previously undefeated Ocean Springs, 41-28. It was, Jackson Academy shutting out Magnolia Heights 52-0. Jackson Prep also had a shutout win on the road, beating Natchez Cathedral 49-0. Lanier shut out Murrah 44-0 here in Jackson. Louisville beat Yazoo City 42-8. McGee edged Jefferson Davis County 36-35. We talked to John Weaver a few minutes ago. He was giving us a report on the Madison Ridgeland Academy, MRA defeating Baton Rouge Catholic 27-26, and that was in Baton Rouge. One of certainly a significant win for MRA. Oxford defeated Madison Central 16-14. Park Lane remains undefeated. They shut out Riverfield 35-0 tonight. Presbyterian Christian also shut out St. Patrick 36-0. It was Richton beating Resurrection 28-7. Give you a few more here. Stone defeated St. Stanislaus 42-7. Tri-County won over Wayne Academy 38-7. Petal defeated West Jones 45-6. Those are some of the bigger games of the night, and an unusual week where we had some really great matchups and some really great games. And then we had a lot of people had the night off, so it
was different. I mean, the fact that you've got district ball games firing up for a lot of the different districts around the state, and then some off sitting at the house getting ready for their district opener next week.
Yeah. All right.
So
Chris.
we've got Coach Devin Cooper from Northwest Rankin.
Hey,
here he is.
Coach Cooper, so glad you could join us tonight, man. I know this is a tough call to make. Man, 3-0. You lose a heartbreaker against the Brandon Bulldogs, but what a street fight on Lakeland Drive tonight.
Yeah, like Coach Pogue and I said after the game, it was one of those felt like just a classic old school battle kind of thing. It really a big time defensive game. They were down their quarterback tonight, so they direct snapped a lot to Tyson, who's a phenomenal athlete, as everybody knows. And man, I tell you, the Brandon defense is just a really strong unit, and they were able to keep us in check, and they avoided giving up the big plays. I think Tyson had one explosive run that really got them down to get them in the field goal range, and that seemed to be the difference. We got down there one time, and I made the decision on the 4th and 3 that hey, we're fixing to go for this. See if we can try to get the end zone versus tying it to end up with a field goal. That was kind of earlier on, though. It wasn't like one of the last possessions, but they stopped us, held us right there, and that was probably our best look. We had got the ball to the 20 like we wanted, and we had the option. It's just that didn't go my way, and that's the call I made. That I think I'd do it again 10 times over, but that's what happened.
Well, Coach, you've had like a lot of these schools, you've had a tough schedule. I mean, I think you're 3-3 at this point. Yeah. But you've had some good wins. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got a really good team, and these boys are. It's a talented group. We're not the biggest group, but I tell you, we play really hard, and we do have some really good skill players as well. And I'll take this group into battle any Friday night, and we'll line up to anybody, man. That's just kind of what we do, and we're not scared of it.
Well, Coach, I know the offense, with Deshaun Dillon, Phillipson at quarterback, and obviously Hayden at running back. I mean, those guys are really fun to watch. I saw them week one when Germantown and I came over there, and you guys whipped us pretty good. But your defense has really been good this year. They've kept you in a lot of ball games, and of course tonight it could have gone either way, but they've been good consistently throughout the year.
Yeah, Coach Poole's the defense coordinator. Him and our defense staff, man, those guys have done a phenomenal job with the defense and getting them. We lost some really good players off last year's defense, and to get these guys up to speed as quick as possible, you got to have that in these kind of ball games because a lot of these teams are obviously all really talented on both sides, and it just took shape as one of those games tonight. But yeah, we got some really good offensive talent. That's, you know, you got a guy like Jeremy Hayden at running back. That's been he's one of the state leading rushers. And, you know, obviously I guess the MHSAA South staff didn't see that. He's I think he had more yards than 3 of the kids they took combined. But, you know, we don't always get to make that pick, but I think he should have probably been in that game. But we got some really good kids, and our defense, though, man, what a battle! There was a lot of heart on the line tonight.
Yeah, and I've seen Hayden run the rock, man. He runs physically. I'm with you, Coach. I would have had him on that list, no doubt. Well, I mean, the good news is you're 3-3. I know it was a tough district loss, not the way you want to start district play, but you were very competitive in the ball game. But the good news, you get a week off before you go over to Pearl.
Yeah, that's important. You play a good physical battle like this on that. Now you got a chance to, this one hurts the heart of our kids because it's such a close battle with Brandon. Yeah, so we've got the weekend to kind of sit on it, marinate on this, and then we'll come back to work during the off week. We'll have some practices where we can, get our sights moving forward and move this group on to the next opponent. And then you can't dwell on a win or a loss in this district. You gotta take it for what it is, learn from it, and get ready for the next one.
That's right. The gauntlet has no mercy in District 3-7A.
No, sir, it does not.
Well, Coach Cooper, look, we appreciate your time. I know it was a tough loss, but look, I know the kind of program you run in first class, and we really appreciate you joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Oh, man, yeah, go Cougars.
That's Devin Cooper with Northwest Rankin.
Here's Granny.
Granny, how are you, sir?
He's there somewhere.
Granny.
I think he's giving us Hey, there.
He's in a hole somewhere.
Cannot hear you.
Okay.
Call.
All right. Well, while we're trying to get him, let me give you a couple more scores. There's some games I just sort of circled here. DeSoto Central defeated Germantown, Tennessee. And Germantown, Tennessee had been undefeated at this point, but DeSoto Central won that game 48-28. Calhoun City won their 5th game. They defeated Hamilton 50-15. And hadn't talked about this one much, but Oak Grove at home beat Houston School from Germantown, Tennessee, 28-25. So that's another big win for Oak Grove.
Yeah, Oak Grove and MRA have really represented Mississippi nicely in beating these out-of-state teams throughout the year. And look, a lot of people, Oak Grove heard the noise. They heard the noise early on after a rough start, and they are really turning it around. I'm telling you, that pedal game in Oak Grove, that is going to be one that everybody will have their eyes on next week.
And that's at Oak Grove?
I believe that is right.
Okay, I think that's
it is at Oak Grove.
I think that's what
yes.
Harold said.
Yep.
So, anyway, all right. So, Chris, we've
lost Granny. Hoping he'll.
All right. Well, hope he'll call back in.
He'll call back in, or Ty will try to call him.
Yeah. All right. Well, no. At the bottom of the hour, we've got the Crazy 8 report with JC and others. We're looking forward to that. Let's see. Let me give you some other scores. Let me see. Look here. Louisville beating Yazoo City 42-8. Louisville is always there, Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't remember, it may not have been you, but somebody was doing a research on like the top high school programs in the state.
That was us.
That was you?
Don't tell the West Point people that. They are so mad at us, but they're so mad at us that they're now undefeated in number 1 this year, so it may have worked out well for them.
But isn't Louisville like in the top 2 or 3?
So we had Louisville number 1. And look, Jake Wimberly and Caleb Hamill and these guys did a phenomenal job of, we just came up with all the criteria. And all we did was just plug in the numbers from – 100 years of data.
Yeah,
it was impressive. We just were able to collect this data, and it spit out the results. It's and there was a lot of recency bias that some of the fans and the teams thought that how could you do that? Where's South Panola? And they were in there, but it was over 100 years of data.
Right.
But number 1 it spit out was Louisville. Incredible. The only team
now
I think
that just means the most. The program in state history that's got the best record, right?
Well, it was wins, losses, win percentage, playoff win percentage, state championship. It was incredible data. 10 win seasons, and then it goes back not just district titles, but conference titles.
Okay.
And look, anybody that wants to check that out, it's on YouTube, State Champ Radio.
Yeah.
But it's our Varsity Voices podcast. But yeah, it spit out. We put the numbers in. It spit all this out, and it came up with Louisville number 1. Number 2 was Starkville, and the West Point people were at number 3. They were not happy about it, and they've let us know ever since they've let us know about it.
We've got Granny, so we'll squeeze him in before we're done. Here's Granny.
Hey, Granny. You there now?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Man, what's going on?
Oh,
hey,
man.
Jared, where's Ben Ingram at?
Well, he's probably partying because the Braves season is over, and it was a long season for Mr. Ingram.
Yeah.
Yeah, good win for Oxford tonight, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
A huge win for Oxford. Madison Central kept that ball game closer than I thought, Granny, but hats off to Oxford for finding a way to win.
Tell us real quick. Go ahead.
I went down to seminary tonight, seminary in Sumrall. Sumrall's got a good defense. You know, Sumrall scored the first touchdown, and then seminary tied it up 7-7 with 8 seconds left. And then Sumrall scored twice in the second half, won it 20-7. Sumrall's got a good defense. I mean, they do have a good defense. They got South Jones. South Jones next week, and that's going to be a battle. That's going to be a test for both teams.
Yeah, and talk about Sumrall. I mean, Granny, I see you at all the sporting events. I know you make your way around football. I love where you pop up, but Sumrall's a baseball school.
They are a baseball school, but Coach Granger is trying to turn that around.
He is doing it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Look, thanks for calling us, sir. Look, you gotta find. Where are you gonna be next week? Real quick.
I'm probably gonna be at South Jones in Sumrall.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mississippi football family.
That's what I saw tonight.
Awesome, Granny. Thanks for calling, brother. We got to run. The commercials got us.
Mississippi football
right.
families.
We'll talk.
Have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today. One in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great follow-up. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with, that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
To me tonight, for Briarfield versus Humphreys, the Rebels versus the Rebels in that one. And Briarfield defeated Humphreys 28-8. So that was a Briarfield team coming into that game with one loss. Humphreys was undefeated, but both those teams are in two different divisions of the 8-man, so they will not play each other in the playoffs.
And you said Humphreys was down a few people, huh?
Yes, Humphreys was down their quarterback. He was dealing with some sort of rib injury. It sounds like something that's been bothering him for a while. So the Humphreys offense really struggled to get started. But I mean, for 8-man football known for its high-scoring action, it was 8-0 at halftime.
Defensive battle going into halftime right there, and then all the way up until like the fourth, right? You said
yeah,
it was
16-8, 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. Briarfield was able to pile on 2 late touchdowns without their star player on the field. He exited with an injury late in the third quarter, and he just didn't return. Their coach after the game said that he just wasn't ready to come back in, even though he was feeling good enough. But
non-division game. Don't get a guy hurt.
Tryson Baker, he played very well. He had 2 touchdowns, including a 78-yard run. In my opinion, that's the play that really sealed the victory.
Hey,
for
JC,
Briarfield.
Introduce your co-padre here.
This is Barry.
Hey, Barry Caston. Sorry, it's been a little while since I've been on Crazy Eight.
That's
been
right.
a little hiatus.
That's
I work
okay.
over here at MPB and I intern over here at FNUTL. I was over at Jackson Academy tonight, but not for football. I was over helping MPB with the Mississippi Symphony Orchestra. But I kept up with some scores right here, and then I know my man JC had my back, so I've been keeping in contact with him and Russ all week. And you got to talk to Coach Travis after the game, right?
Yes, I did. I got to talk to Coach Bo Travis from Briarfield for about a minute and a half.
Well, do you guys want to get all the other scores, and then we'll go to Bo Travis's audio?
Yeah, we can do that.
So
we can do that.
Let's get the whole league going here.
Okay. Well, let's talk about real quick, because I got the scores for the still undefeated 1A4. What is it, three teams that we have in that right there? They're all still undefeated. Claiborne winning tonight 48 over Tensas 28. River Oaks beating Riverdale 54-6. And then not Deer Creek, sorry. What's the other score on that one right there? Do you have it?
The Prairie View score?
Yeah, I know
Prairie
they won
View
tonight.
beat Ben's Ford 49-12. So 3 pretty dominant wins.
Yeah, they're all
in
still
that
rolling, still
little
undefeated.
grouping.
I've also got a big upset over here, in my opinion. I mean, maybe not to you because you got to actually see them earlier this year, but Benton 60, Deer Creek 30. I know Deer Creek had only lost to Humphreys earlier this year, so they've been a favorite in Division I. But Benton came in. You said they were pretty gritty when you saw them earlier in the season. So
yeah, Benton looked gritty. I think for that team, how their quarterback plays, and I'm not sure how he played tonight, but the team goes that way. And for Deer Creek, even though that's a tough loss, that's a big loss for them. They still should have a hold on that division of theirs, of the teams up in the Delta.
And honestly, with the way Benton's division is looking right now, you're kind of hoping that they still win. Like, it's maybe not a bad game to lose. I know as a coach you hate to hear that, as a player you really hate to hear that, but when it comes to the PowerPoints and playoff seedings, it might not be a bad game to lose in that regards, because Benton might be on the little upswing here these last few games.
Was that everybody, or is there where we miss any, or are we ready for the coach?
JC, you got any others you want to talk about? Yeah, we
can you play the coach's interview?
I'm here with Coach Travis from Briarfield. Coach, a close one tonight. Good defensive play on both sides of the ball, but you were able to overcome, especially with the good play of a player who seems to be your star number one. What do you think of his performance tonight?
I thought he did a great job up until he lost his cool right there at the end. But you got to give a lot of credit to Humphreys. Their defense, maybe the most aggressive defense we played. They were ready for everything we threw at them. Did an excellent job. We came out a little flat in the first half, and we couldn't block their front. I mean, that's what killed us. We couldn't block their defensive front.
Yeah, you guys were able to recover 2 onside kicks, one there at the end, but the first one, that one was kind of key after your first touchdown. How have you seen your special teams play this year help your team?
We've recovered a couple onside kick, but other than that, just getting down there and not letting them return anything. We hadn't had one returned on us all year. It's not really about getting them; it's about not letting them return them. But we didn't capitalize. We scored our first touchdown, and we recovered that onside kick, but then we didn't capitalize when we were 3 and out. So we got to learn from that and ride that high on after that first touchdown and keep the momentum.
What do people need to know about your Rebels as we finish the season here and look towards the playoffs here?
15 left in this audio.
Just we're gritty. I mean, we're going to get after it offensively and defensively, and there's no letdown in us. We fight to the bitter end. So we're gritty. That's the biggest thing.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
I like how he mentioned there that they're a gritty team, and that's really something that's been key in the 8-man game. I know that early when we did our first segment, Barry, we were talking about flexibility and positional versatility.
Ironman football.
Now, tonight, there wasn't as much of that. There were guys who played both ways of the ball. It was like tight ends, linebackers, wide receivers, defensive backs, some of those. But when we get into the grittiness of some of these 8-man teams who have some big boys up front, especially on the defensive, offensive line, those guys who can play both ways, like Coach Travis mentioned with Humphreys, them having a tough defensive line. They have a guy who goes both ways for them. That's really what I've seen to be the key in 8-man football this year.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the versatility of being able to play multiple different positions, and that's what will happen too. 8-man is no different from other football in the way that you got to win the line of scrimmage, especially in a game that can get as wide open as 8-man. If you have some big boys up front that are just wearing you down, and then all of a sudden, boom, we go to jet sweep right outside wide. That's just really hard it's because most people think that we play 8-man on the 40 by 80, but a lot of these teams are still just playing it by traditional 50 by 100. So you try to jam the box up as much as you can, but then all of a sudden, whoop, we're going right outside, gone. So definitely being able to play multiple different positions, fill different roles is key whenever you have such small numbers like a lot of these teams are going to have.
Hey, I want to ask a question here, and I really thought about this, but you're talking about kickoffs, and they're doing onside kicks.
Yes.
I mean, I know when you've only got, you got 8 guys instead of 11 guys, that makes probably an onside kick, the odds of you recovering it probably a lot greater, wouldn't you say?
They would be, except for the fact that in 8-man football, you've got to go to 15 yards instead of 10 yards. They changed that rule back in 2012, I believe, pretty early on. And because the rate of recovery was so high.
Right.
So now you've got to go to 15 yards. And special teams is the difference that you'll see in this game, is being able to get that extra possession. And, yeah, just too many times you try to go deep and do the traditional kickoff, you'll just get burnt in the open field. So might as well take your chances and just kind of form your whole defensive plan to 50 yards and less.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, it really is interesting. I mean, the spacing. I'm sure the angles that you've got to take defensively are
it becomes
different.
like basketball on grass in a way.
Yeah,
but you still have all the physicality and everything. Like I mentioned the first time I was here, open field tackling. Like that is the most key point in 8-man football, is being able to do that effectively as well too.
Well, at this point in the season, and we're fairly deep into the season. Who are some of the better teams that you think are going to make a run at the end?
Everybody in that 1A4, because they're still all undefeated and they're all still have beaten good teams. Claiborne beat DeSoto last week, who had a big upset over Tunica tonight as well, 38-0. I don't remember if I said that one. But in the Division I, one of my favorites is still Deer Creek, and then in that Division 2. Watch out with Sam Pearson and DeSoto. I'm not going to count them out ever again. I did the first week I was here. Sorry, Sam. I don't think I can count them out in Division 2.
I mean, we also have both the teams from tonight, Briarfield and Humphreys. One is a Division 1 team, one is a Division 2 team. So they will not play in the playoffs, but it was a really good test for both those teams. If I remember correctly, Briarfield made it pretty far in the playoffs. Did they?
They won it last year.
States.
It was them and
they
WCCA.
defeated WCCA.
Yeah.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, they're
and Bo's. You talk about his teams having great grit and character. Bo's won him a couple of rings down there at Briarfield. He's made him a little dynasty down there. And that's just kind of etched into who they are as a people and who they are as a school as well, and it's reflected in their play.
Well, I wouldn't count WCCA out.
Oh, no.
I mean,
Randy's
they're undefeated, but they won it. When I was talking to them last week when I was over in Tallulah for their game, they brought up that they lost in that state championship last year.
Bulletin board material all year. You don't need any. Exactly. So,
well, guys, good report. I mean, good report on Crazy 8 football, week 6. And we've got, several more weeks to go, obviously. But we appreciate the report.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
All right. Well, Jared, we're about to enter the last 15 minutes, and we've got a couple of crazy games we want to talk about before we get to the Brandon Shields interview.
Yeah. Crazy H to crazy stats of the night. And you tell me, guys, which one of these is crazier? Brandon, I mean, this has been a high octane offense. Obviously had a coaching change. Sam Williams, their former coach, leaves. Enter the legend Lance Pogue. They don't have one passing yard. Not one tonight. Not totally out of the ordinary for high school football, but for that program, a big change. Here's the other one. I want all the listeners to hear this. Forest County AHS won 6-0 in 5 overtimes.
Over Moss Point.
Over Moss Point.
And we still haven't figured out exactly how that's possible.
The special teams must be horrendous.
There just must be no special teams.
But I've never heard of.
I understand that, but that's
nothing going into the 5th overtime, and Forest County AHS gets the win over Moss Point.
All right. Well, our Crazy 8 segment has been brought to you by Cricket Wireless. Phones, plans, and coverage can be found at their website, cricketwireless.com. More Friday Night Under the Lights in just a moment.
Tiny Desk Radio.
Concerts from Tiny Desk contest winners.
Music from the very first winner, Fantastic Negrito.
Also spoken word and music from Tank and the Bangas.
Plus, this year's winner, rapper-singer Ruby Ibarra.
That's all next time on Tiny Desk Radio from NPR Music.
Hello,
Saturday at
Mississippi.
noon.
Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
So, gentlemen, as we say every week, fastest 2 hours in football. We have talked to a bunch of people tonight. We're going to finish out with Brandon Shields. Here he is.
Brandon, welcome into Friday Night Under the Lights. Man, good to have you on the program to always cap it off. The guru, the ultimate guru of high school football in the Magnolia State. It's shots keeping the seat warm for us. But, man, where were you tonight?
Madison Central and Oxford. That's where I was tonight.
Good choice.
Yeah, good ball game. Madison Central defense kept it close, but Oxford, I keep saying they're one of the most underrated teams in the state of Mississippi, but a very close ball game.
We have them ranked 6. Me and Krista and our Mississippi Girl are in top 10, so they ain't under the radar, or at least not in our perspective. They have a good team. They have good defense. They couldn't get much going in the passing game tonight because Madison's a dang good defensive team. They kept them away from the explosives. They limited the explosives plays tonight. Good football game. Means Oxford wins 16-14. Madison lined up for a 58-yard field goal as time expired, and it came up short. I mean, it was. Oxford's defense was the story tonight. I mean, they held Madison 58 yards of offense in the second half. Just maybe like 3 or 4 first downs. It was interesting to see. I mean, but Madison's defense held Oxford in check. Had a key interception in the first half, but they didn't do much with it. So Oxford had a running back rush for 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, both in the first half. DeMarcus Jamerson, hopefully I said his last name right. So it was a good game, man, especially in Region 2-7A. I mean, it was a big win for Oxford coming down here, winning on the road in Region 2-7A. It's always tough, and that was a big one for them.
Well, and just again, as you just said, that was a district game. A lot of the schools don't start district play till next week, but that was a district win for Oxford.
Oh yeah, there's a few district games tonight because some teams are. Hernando beating Horn Lake 22-21. That's a big one. We have Horn Lake ranked 10th. So 8th. So then you had Northwest Rankin. That was a region game. With Brandon winning 3-0.
What was your first reaction when you saw that score?
I said, "There's no way." I texted Lance, texted Devin Cooper. I said, "Is this really the final score?" And they said, "Yep." And Devin Cooper said neither team got inside the 20. So I believe it. So
that's unbelievable.
I mean, we had a 6-0 game tonight that went 5 overtime. So I mean, it was just the night of. It's just had a lot of overtime games tonight. I mean, it's just high school football at its best. It's a week to week thing, so to speak, and we had one tonight.
Yeah, the 5 overtime 6-0 game. I just need to see that one on video. That one's harder to believe than the 3-0. Honestly, when you think about it, I need to see how that went down. Talk about this: Gulfport beats Ocean Springs 41-25.
Yeah, and that's a big statement win. And me and Blake talked. I said, "Hey, you ever gonna win a big game?" He said, "I hope so. Eventually, I need to." And he finally got one. So. That's good. Cooper Crosby, running back, had 5 touchdowns for Gulfport. He had a big night. They jumped on him early and often. I mean, it was, I think, 2014 at halftime. But then Gulfport put on 2. I think Crosby scored both touchdowns in the third quarter, made it 34-14 to kind of seal the game. So, that's a big win. That's another. I mean, Region 4-7A. That's the region with 7 teams. So they have 6 region games. So they started. Some of them started region play last week. So they're kind of 2 weeks ahead of everybody else. Mm-hmm. Actually, a week ahead of everybody else. So that was a big statement win for them.
Yeah, and you could say that might be the biggest win for Coach Penix, beating his old squad over at Ocean Springs.
Yeah. At least when he's been beating Picayune his first year there.
Mm-hmm.
but this one's the biggest, especially in a 7A game, I think. So, yeah, I mean, they've had so many close calls in the playoffs with Petal last year, Pearl the year before that, Petal in the game earlier this year where they dropped 2 touchdown passes. They lose the game by a point. So he's always like, man, can I catch a break around here? And he finally got a big one tonight. That was a humongous win for them.
It was, and same district, D. Iberville gets a big win over West Harrison. Those are clubs that like to run the football, but D. Iberville, that defense is for real.
They're for real. Both teams were 5-0 going into the night, so that was me and Chris talked about it earlier in the week when we were doing our rankings. Like 2 teams 5-0, so whoever wins this game is going to be ranked. So D. Iberville is going to be ranked. So. Yeah, that was a big win for them. So, and they're 2-0. They're 2-0 in region. So that's always another factor. They beat Harrison Central last week, beat West Harrison tonight. They play Ocean Springs next week. So yeah, that's going to be another big one.
Hey, Brandon, you've mentioned your ranking several times. I'm assuming West Point's number 1.
Oh yeah. That was a no-brainer.
Yeah,
that was a no. We just flip-flopped. Tupelo's number 2. And Ocean Springs was 3rd, so that's obviously going to change. And then a lot of teams this week have byes. Picayune had a bye. Grenada had a bye. So Oak Grove played tonight. They won over Houston out of Tennessee. So that was, and they had to come from behind to win that game. So and Houston's a powerhouse in Tennessee. So. And of course, Oxford, the big win. Starkville was on a bye.
Right.
I know I'm going all over the place. Columbia won tonight over Lawrence County. So Horn Lake tonight. So we have West Harrison ranked 10th. So, like I said, D'Iberville's pretty much taking West Harrison's spot.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of changes come Monday.
Here's one I've got for you, Brandon. How about Macomb? The Tigers, man, 5-0, a huge win over Poplarville, 35-34.
Yeah, this their second big win in 3 weeks. And 2 weeks ago, they beat Brookhaven 18-16. Both games are at home. They come down to pretty much the last minute. And Broderick Peters, their tight end, he's committed to Southern Miss, has scored the GOAT. He scored the tying touchdown in the Brookhaven game. He scored the go-ahead touchdown tonight. So, yeah, they coming up big, winning big games at home. So that was that. Them and Columbia play next week. Region 7. That wow. Region 7 4A's a gauntlet. That's going to be them 3 teams: Poplarville, Macomb, and Columbia. South 4A is going to be a fun region to watch. Come playoff time.
Where do you? I know it's early, but where do you see yourself going next week? What ball game do you think you may go to next week?
Me and Jared be at the same spot. Be at Germantown.
Come on, brother. Come on.
Yeah, that's where I'll be.
We can head there now. We'll start cooking a Maverick burger. We'll do it big.
Yeah.
But there's some big ball games next week. Petal, Oak Grove. What are you looking forward to the most?
Obviously, now that how Ocean Springs responds, got to go to D'Iberville. So, D'Iberville getting the big win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, a team that's 2-0 in the region. Ocean Springs is 1-1 now. So, hey, this comes with these tiebreakers. I'm having to do these scenarios for all y'all people at the end of the year. This could be one of those, hey, head-to-head situations to. If you need a home playoff game or you're on the road in the first round, a lot of things happen. So,
the last one I want to ask you about, MRA. This is a football team.
Yeah, they're a good one. They just Harvard Davis knows how to win big football games. He just knows how to win the big games, no matter who he's playing, no matter where he's playing. He knows how to win it. It just comes natural. He's a heck of a football coach, and he's got a heck of a football team. So,
yeah,
and it's really fun to watch them play.
All right, Brandon, we've got to go. We've got to cut you off, but thanks for the report, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right.
Brandon.
Well, Jared, we're running completely out of time, but thanks for being here. Really, really good show tonight.
This was a blast, guys. Had a good time. Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got an extra chair or so here, you know. All right. Well, we'll be back next week with more Friday Night Under the Lights.